Is it good or bad that 50% of people don't go to see the dentist? After last week's episode where we sounded the alarm about how most future dentists are on track to spend their careers as long-term corporate employees, I decided to keep the conversation going. I posted a thread on Dentaltown, and let me tell you, it got spicy. Tons of dentists chimed in with their thoughts, and even the OG himself, Howard Farran, founder of Dentaltown, jumped in with a response. Here's what he had to say. You're absolutely right. Most new dentists are on track to become corporate drones, not because they want to, but because debt, fear, and lack of business training make the DSO route feel safe. Your boss will pay you just enough money to kill all your personal dreams of becoming an owner-operator, fee-for-service dentist. The only way out is to invest early in both clinical and business skills and own your practice before you're too comfortable as an employee. Private practice isn't dead, but it takes courage, hustle, and vision. If you want a career, not just a job, ownership is the way.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, I couldn't agree more. That quote perfectly sums up everything we talk about here on Practice on Fire. This podcast exists for dentists who want more than a job, who want ownership, autonomy, and the kind of income that actually reflects the years of blood, sweat, tears, and tuition we've all put into this profession. Oh, and shout out to Howard for subscribing to our YouTube channel. You should too, if you're into actionable content on private practice ownership, case acceptance, systems, marketing, and everything else that separates thriving docs from those who are barely treading water. Now back to that Dentaltown thread. One topic that kept bubbling up was the age-old DSO strategy, the one that's been around since the 1980s, family dentistry. Target young families, pack your hygiene schedule, and hope that those checkups yield a few fillings and crowns. That's the DSO playbook. Why? Because it works for them. Their model relies on new grads, high turnover, plug-and-play dentists who can perform basic procedures they learned in second year dental school.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
That means no complex full mouth rehabs, no advanced surgeries, no high-level treatment planning, just cleanings, exams, fillings, and the occasional crown. Course with a few upsells, fluoride, night guards, and whitening. But that's it. Keep it simple, keep it scalable. But here's the kicker. That model only works when there's a huge pool of hygiene patients, which brings us to today's question. If 50% of the population doesn't go to the dentist, is that good or bad for us? Now, someone on the thread dropped this line. Chasing unicorns, good luck marketing to people who don't even go to the dentist. And look, I get where they're coming from. If your entire business model is built around 6-month recalls and prophy patients, then yeah, it sounds like a lost cause. But here's the thing. That's not the model we're talking about. We're not trying to drag these patients into the hygiene loop and convert them into lifetime recall warriors. That's not the goal. The people we're talking about, the 50% who don't see a dentist, they're not blowing off cleanings because they don't care. Many of them have serious dental problems. They're hiding their smiles. They're avoiding social situations. They're eating on one side of their mouth or avoiding steakhouses altogether. They're embarrassed. They feel shame. They're terrified of being judged, and they're also incredibly motivated once they're ready. These aren't the patients who come in and act shocked when you tell them they need treatment. These are the patients who already know they've got problems, and they're relieved to finally do something about it. When they find a practice that speaks directly to their situation, with compassion, without judgment, they're not just open to treatment, they're eager for it. In our marketing at Practice on Fire, we speak directly to them. We talk about what it's like to put your hand over your mouth when you talk, what it feels like to have your grandkids ask why your teeth are missing, or to avoid going out to eat because you're not sure you'll be able to chew anything on the menu. This isn't hypothetical. These are real stories, real struggles. And when patients see that you understand what they're going through, they respond. So let's go back to the fishing analogy. Most family dentists and DSOs are throwing their lines in the same overcrowded pond. Tons of competition, lots of little fish, cleanings, fluoride, fillings. Meanwhile, just down the road, there's a pond almost no one is fishing in, one full of patients who need large, comprehensive, life-changing treatment. And yet most dentists are still elbowing each other for a chance at that same tired group of hygiene patients. Here's the unfair advantage that private practice owners have: stability. DSOs can't count on their providers. See, they call them providers, not dentists. They're constantly onboarding new grads who stick around for a few years, and then as soon as they're comfortable and competent, they'll leave for better pastures. So they can't build a business around higher level care. But we can. We're in our practices long term. We can build deep relationships. We can expand our clinical skills.
You know, like nunchuck skills, bow hunting skills, computer hacking skills. Girls only want boyfriends who have great skills.
And we can market ourselves in a way that attracts these overlooked patients who need real help. So why are so many private dentists still clinging to this same broken family model? I think in part it's because they don't know there's another way. Or maybe they do, but they're afraid to make the leap. They've been doing dentistry the same way for so long that change feels risky, even though staying the course might be riskier. Maybe it's going to take a few more years of declining reimbursements, staffing shortages, and burnout before more dentists start to wake up. But here's the truth. If you keep chasing healthy patients with PPOs in hand and minimal treatment needs, you'll always be stuck in a high-volume, low-margin grind. You'll be chair hopping all day, juggling hygiene checks, trying to make your numbers work while your overhead balloons. But if you shift your focus, start speaking to the patients who need you most, everything changes. Larger cases, higher treatment acceptance, less chaos, more focus, more meaning. Personally, I love treating patients with big problems. It's incredibly rewarding. I don't have to do 30 hygiene exams a day. I don't have to interrupt a crown prep every 15 minutes. I get to focus on meaningful dentistry, stuff that transforms lives. And when a patient says, "I haven't smiled in years," and you give that smile back, there's nothing better. That's not just a good day at work. That's a fulfilling career. So, is it good or bad that 50% of the population doesn't go to the dentist? If you're stuck in the family model fighting for cleaning patients, it's definitely a problem. But if you're willing to think differently, if you're willing to build a practice that focuses on solving real problems for real people, then it's a massive opportunity, one that most of your competition is completely ignoring. Let them keep fighting over the same overfished pond. We'll be down the road, casting into waters full of patients who are desperately hoping that someone like you exists. Thanks for tuning in today. I'm Graham Dursley. This is Practice on Fire. Team POF out. This episode is brought to you by Practice on Fire, a platform dedicated to helping dentists like you conquer your most frustrating career challenges to unlock the path to a thriving practice. Here's the deal. We're all about sharing tons of actionable content for free, We want you to walk away with strategies that make a real difference in your career. But if you're ready to go deeper, to truly transform your practice and life, then our premium platform is your next step. What's inside? At Practice on Fire, we dive into the essential and often overlooked pillars of a successful dental career. Business systems. Build efficiency that frees you up to focus on what matters. Marketing. Attract the right patients, the ones who need and value your care. Case acceptance. Master the art of helping patients say yes with confidence. We've got hours of pre-recorded courses, but here's the game changer. An active community that guides you step by step through implementation. No more spinning your wheels in frustration. Think about it. Many dentists invest over 7 figures in their careers between student loans and practice ownership, but they've never invested in the critical skills that make the difference between struggle and success. Visit practiceonfire.com for free downloads, implementation guides, and details about how to take your career and practice to the next level. Want to take the hot seat? Think your practice could use a makeover? Apply to be a guest on our podcast. We'll give you an honest, no-holds-barred evaluation of your practice. Expect raw feedback, a breakdown of your numbers, and a tailored plan to tackle your bottlenecks. Vulnerability is required. Transformation guaranteed. Apply using the link in the show notes. All right, team, your transformation starts here. Let's light this fire.